Hey everyone, how you doing today? Thought I'd show you an update on this Kriel space station. It is coming along pretty good. I did a lot more off screen than I thought I was going to do. I kind of had this jam session the other day that I was planning on a couple hours, and that turned into like 8 hours of like block work. But it is definitely coming along pretty good. Just thought I'd show you where it's at right now. Now, in the last video, I think that I did show building this, it was installing this force field and trying to get that area going. Then I started doing some more block work along the front and around this force field. And then I decided I wanted to attempt to do one of these tentacle things. Um, and this is what I came up with so far. It's, again, funky like everything else is on this, but I'm trying to do like some kind of mechanical looking connection to the main body. And then I was trying to follow like I had these miscellaneous blocks, kind of Minecraft style, trying to figure out a shape and length of these tentacles. And then basically I took the top ones and started like adding in all the wedge blocks around it, following that same course, but also trying to integrate some turrets in the mix. So I needed some flat areas for the turrets, stuff like that, experimenting with little spiky things, which I think this place will have a lot more of before it's done. Um, and then I'm experimenting with these lower landing pad things, and I'm trying to make this look like a weapon, like this might be a blade of some kind of alien sword or something like that. Was the idea. That's why I got kind of the funky shape. They're not very wide though right now. So like fitting in like a larger Kriel SV, like the this guy here. God, what are you called? The Wraith. Duh, man. How could you forget that? It's like a little too wide where the wings are like sticking out the edges. So I'm trying to figure out proportions and dimensions of this. I might have to be scaled up a little bit more, but if I get too wide with it, it loses the effect of what I wanted it to look like. So it's complicated. And I was thinking a lot about the interior layout on how this is going to be designed on the inside. So like these landing areas over here, you could walk up and maybe like a staircase or something that gets you out to the hangar area. Speaking of the hangar, I was just kind of seeing how big of a hangar this could have. Um, so obviously these walls here kind of come in further. So the hangar would start out pretty wide and probably actually widen up over along the edges over here, but then it's going to have to like taper off as it goes further back into the creation. But it should have a pretty good size hangar. And then it's got a lot of room beyond the hangar space too, because there's a ton of room above it. There'll be some room on the sides of it and also below it. So the hangar is almost surrounded by the rest of it, by the structure. Um, so on the back part here, I did want to form like some form of abdomen kind of thing, and that is what I've been working on there. And then another big aspect I was really struggling with for a bit was how was I going to do solar? I wanted, because it's a space station, and especially if you're going to use it in Reforge Eden, I wanted to have good solar power. And the problem I had with like the Solaris was all the solar panels were kind of angled on the top of it, made it hard to place and get good solar power from it. This one I didn't really want to have that problem, so I decided to make these kind of elongated, I don't know, hangy things that come down from the bottom and then mount all the solar panels to those, which would allow for easy placement of the station. If you're using it as a player base, then you could just point it at the sun or at a star, and yeah, your solar panels should be optimal. And that works out pretty good. And honestly, overall, it didn't cost a lot of blocks to do the solar panel assembly. I mean, some coming down here, but on the shaping of this, I got a little bit of inspiration from a unit in StarCraft. It was a Zerg unit. I forget the name of it, but they'd basically float around and drop off units and look at things. And they had these like tentacle hangy things just hanging down from them. And I was like, huh, what if this had something like that? And then I just hang the solar panels off the side of that. So I'm trying that idea out, but I want to make these look more organic. So I'm trying to do like this curvy thing, so it kind of comes down, and kind of, if you're following the mouse cursor, kind of this arc, and then may have some little spiky things come off from there. But again, trying to make it look organic. The whole thing too is just like the very front of it was started with all the beveled blocks, making a lot of I don't know, this kind of thing, this roundish look, continued throughout the rest of the hull of this. And even on the underside here, I'm trying to do something like that here as well, kind of trying to make it look a bit organic. I'm also experimenting in this back area. I haven't completed this area yet, but to add in some landing pads over here, and then like base access point there. But I was trying to figure out the shape on what kind of shape that area should be to look okay with the body. And right now I'm kind of got this idea where it's going to be kind of like what you see here, but as it goes further back, maybe starting at about this point here, it'll kind of like angle out a little bit, kind of like this shape here. So yeah, a lot of planning and choices and decision, and it's been a little bit slow going, but I got got a lot done on it, and I'm pretty happy with that. So I would probably say more than half the hull is kind of laid out right now, and I'll keep on trying to do more things with it. I'll try to get some more turret positions in here, some more little spiky things. Any place I see an opportunity to do something with, I probably will. And then after all that, I'm gonna have to get into the texturing, and the texturing is gonna take a while, no doubt. Problem with texturing, if I just kept it all like combat steel, and it's mostly combat steel right now, won't be so bad. But there are some textures that I would like to use that in the concrete blocks, and also some in Xeno blocks that I think could look pretty good, and open up the amount of different textures that could be on here. And I think that would be kind of a neat thing in the end too. But yeah, it's basically where it's at right now. Sometimes I even wondered too, could this make a CV? It won't. I don't know what kind of CV it would be, but it could move, I suppose. But yeah, right now it's just going to be a space station. I plan on two versions of this. The very first version that I build would be for the player, and the idea here would be I'd be running a lot of storage in here, probably around 30. 320k storage units, big production area. It's going to obviously have quite a bit of docking space for SVs and HVs. It's not really designed to dock CVs though, unless they're really small again. But I didn't want big flat landing pads too much on here. Like if I were building this for a different faction, I would have probably utilized a lot of this back area for places to land stuff. But I'm trying to really go with this Kriel look, and that just doesn't work out. If I start putting in too many big flat landing pads, it sort of loses the aesthetics and look that I kind of want it to be. Granted, it's might have a little more function with the flat areas, but I'm trying to get some in, and I don't think anybody's going to have a problem with the amount of space it's got for docking HVs and SVs. It should have a pretty burly hangar, a lot of room in there, and plus some extra landing pads in various spots around the hull. So the next big part I'm going to have to figure out is how to tie in everything that's here, and basically finish up this entire bottom section of the creation. So that's quite a bit more block work to be done there. I have also thought about Helios modules. And that's where I'm kind of running into a problem. I never really anticipated having much module support on here. It wasn't really a thing. And the modules are big rectangles, and that is rough on a creation like this, trying to be all organic, to have like a module bay of big rectangles that come in there. But I haven't ruled it out either. I'm gonna, when I get into this back area here, I'm gonna definitely think about that. If there's some way I could make something look appropriate, but allow you to at least dock maybe a couple modules. But it's possible, like if you came up over on this section here, there could be a module bay on either side. I wouldn't have a huge amount of module bays, but that is possible. Now I never made a Kriel module either myself. Now some other authors have made a couple Kriel modules. So yeah, it could work, and I will definitely experiment with the idea. And I don't necessarily, a module bay doesn't necessarily have to be a big rectangle enclosure for a module either. It could be done differently. And if I can find a way that works with the body and the organic kind of basically hardly any straight edges way of doing that, then I'll probably do it. So yeah, I mean, of course, I'll try to get as much function as I possibly can into this. As in cost, for what it is, it'll probably be more expensive than some other, if you're looking for like gameplay only purposes, I believe this would cost more than something like the Solaris station, but have very similar functionality to it in the end, except for not near as much module support. We'll see though. We'll see. Again, I got a long ways to go on it. This is going to be a horrendous texturing job too. It's going to take a while to really texture this. And part of the texturing too, again, is it's the different materials that I'll want to use in certain places. Maybe some concrete, maybe some Xeno. So I'll have to replace some of the blocks that are here, or I'm not sure how many yet. I guess I'll get to that when I get to that. And Kriel texturing was a little bit tricky anyway. It's weird because it uses kind of a gradient and some different tones and things like that. It's not that bad though. It's not that bad to texture something in Kriel. I do like the idea of the texture lights and stuff. And this I'm trying to plan this out where I can get some neat texture light opportunities in here. Like doing this bottom area, why I shaped it this way, and it has this ridge line that kind of comes here on purpose. It's because here and there when I'm texturing it later on, I'll be able to say maybe take these corners and put like a texture light here, and if I can line up like another one of these weird curvy things here with another line like that, I could add in like another texture light over here, and then maybe add in like a third, and then you got now this texture light formation that looks all funky. And that's kind of what I wanted to do. So I'm trying to leave myself places to do that when I'm making the haul. But that's about all I've got for today. Sorry, it's not really a build video, and I sort of stopped a little bit with that. But I do plan on doing some more build videos on this, on specific areas of it. But this if I did videos covering like all of this, it would have been like another 8 videos, and it would have been, you wouldn't have seen too much more going on per video. It would have just been a lot of videos. In some areas, like I started on one thing, like when I first was doing this too, I worked on this back area, and then I didn't like it, so I ended up blowing away like almost all of it and redoing it. And that happens too. That happens quite a bit on a lot of the builds that I do. I'll do something and then see how it works out, and if I don't like it, I'll do it again until I get something that I like. On that other transport CV, I don't have that spawned here right now, but I do plan on restructuring that quite a bit too. I'm actually exploring the idea on that one to remove the front thruster housings entirely and build a different kind of back thruster assembly to house them all. So it gets rid of that kind of Cerberus sort of legged look that I didn't really want it to have. And I also wanted to thicken up the creation by about one more block row, so it's got a little bit better interior space from the hangar. A couple little things like that. So I'll work on that here and there too, and I'll try to show you an update of that. Anyway, you all have yourself a good day. I'll talk to you later.